Crawford, who's the leftist in this race, truly is radical, it would change the face of that court in some really significant ways, not just in Wisconsin, but nationally as well. But she can win if conservative-leaning voters don't turn out. We've seen the left very good at getting their people out in lower turnout elections over the last 10-plus years. If that plays out again, she will win. Conservatives have to get off the couch and participate in Wisconsin. The election is April 1st. Early voting is underway.
That's Guy Benson calling out all Republicans, all the MAGA faithful in Wisconsin to rise up and get out and vote in their upcoming state Supreme Court election. As you heard, it's scheduled for next Tuesday, April 1st, but early voting is already underway, and we've got the latest results on this very important election that will determine the future of this all-important swing state. Hey, gang, come on in, one and all. Great to see you here for our live stream Monday night, as we always do on Monday nights. We're going to move our lively discussion of all things culture and politics over to our exclusive censorship-free, doesn't that sound wonderful? Censorship-free virtual platform. So if you want to join us over there for some sweet fellowship and awesome scholarly discussion, just scan that QR code on the screen that you see there, or you can click on the link in the description below. For a very small monthly fee, you can have access to our exclusive Q&As, our exclusive content, exclusive conversations and meetups with yours truly, and you get access to all of our exclusive offers. So click that link in the description below or scan that wonderful QR code to become a member of the Courageous Patriots Club, where thousands of us gather together each and every week to restore the pillars of faith, family, and freedom as we together usher in a new conservative age. We will head on over there in mere moments. But first, we are 1 week away from the big election in Wisconsin on April 1st. Wisconsinites will go to the polls to elect their next state Supreme Court judge. Now, if you remember, it was back in 2023 at the height of sort of the Roe v. Wade hysteria when they had their last state Supreme Court election, and the Democrat in that election absolutely crushed the Republican. We're talking by double digits, and we have no intention of allowing that to happen again. And now, this year, we've got our not-so-secret weapon on the ground in Wisconsin.
Hey everybody, this is Scott Pressler. I'm here in Green Bay, Wisconsin and Broward County, and as you can see, it is Saturday morning, and we are in a ruckus, packed office because we are going to go out and knock on doors for Brad Schimmel for the Wisconsin Supreme Court election. Please make a plan to vote. April 1st is election day. Go to myvote.wi.gov.
That's Scott doing what Scott does best. So he's out there knocking on doors, getting the MAGA faithful out there to vote. Early voting has started, both mail-in and in-person early voting. And we got the stats here. So let's start with the latest numbers that just came in today, March 24th. A big shout out to Latinx adjacent doctor for his election modeling and data. He nailed Wisconsin in 2024 in the presidential election. He's keeping a very close eye on this election as well. As of today, it's looking very good for the Republican, Brad Schimmel. Strong Republican counties. These are the deep red counties like the WOW counties. These are the deep red counties like Waukesha or Zauke and Washington. They're coming out in record numbers in both mail-in ballot returns and in-person early voting. So when you compare in-person early voting to this time last election, 2023, deep red counties are up over 100% in turnout, 101% to be exact. And the lean Republican counties, they're up at about 90% of where they were last time, the last election, 2023. By contrast, the strong Democrat counties like Milwaukee are at about 79% of in-person early voting of where they were in 2023, and the lean Democrat counties are at around 43%. So that's very, very good news for the Republicans. The turnout is very high. Again, according to Latinx, there's about 123,000 in-person early votes cast so far, in contrast to the only 36,000 in 2023 on the same day. And that is very good because Republicans tend to inordinately turn out for the in-person early voting. Republicans like to vote in person, whether on election day or early voting. Now, here's the data on the mail-in ballot returns, and they're more on par with each other. Again, a comparable picture. Both solid red counties and lean Republican counties are up over 123% from this time in 2023. But the strong Democrat and lean Democrat counties are also up around 118 and 121% as well. So that said, Latinx is noting that a number of lean Democrat counties, they're just not coming out. They're underrunning where they were at 2023, whereas Chippewa, which is solidly Republican, they're up 400%. Trump won Chippewa with 60% of the vote. So where does that put us? Well, bottom line, right now as we speak, again, as of Monday, March 24th, the GOP is currently doing 8.21% better. So a little over 8% better in early voting as compared to this time in 2023. So that's very good. No question. The vote, when all said and done, the vote in Wisconsin has shifted 8 points to the right in early voting when compared to 2023. However, because the Republican lost by 11 points in 2023, that 8-point shift still ain't good enough. So, in other words, right now, if 2023 conditions hold with the same day election day turnout, it would mean that the Republican, Brad Schimmel, would lose by 3. 11 points is a big deficit to overcome. So thus far, it is good news. The electorate has indeed shifted 8 points to the right in the early voting, but it's not spectacular news in that the shift is still 3 points below the margin by which the Democrat beat the Republican 2 years ago. So the key is going to be keeping an eye on the mail-in returns and in-person early voting all throughout this week. That's how we'll know what's really going on with this election. We're still a bit early on in with certainly with a state Supreme Court justice seat. If we can see that 8% GOP gain over the course of this week hit a 10%, 11%, maybe 12%, we probably got this. We won't have to rely on a massive election day turnout, especially if we're at 11 or 12%. We can just settle with what came out in 2023 and we're good to go, given, of course, that there were no shenanigans, which unfortunately Milwaukee is infamous for. So that's the key here. I shouldn't say we want it because we're still early in this. We want a huge margin here. We need a huge margin. We need the margin as compared to 2023. We need the electorate to shift by double digits over to the Republicans in the next several days. I'll try to do a few voting trend updates throughout the week in our videos. I am off to Austin this week for the Natalism Conference. Is anyone coming? Let us know in the chat. I'd love to meet you in person. Let me know if you'll be in Austin this weekend for the Natalism Conference. Jack Posobiec's going to be there. Carl Benjamin, the Lotus Eaters, he'll be there. It's going to be a really great turnout and awesome conference. So I'll be on the road a bit starting on Wednesday, but I'll try to keep you up to date on the latest numbers coming out of Wisconsin throughout the week. In the meantime, if you know anyone in the Badger State, make sure you contact them and get them to vote for Brad Schimmel on Tuesday, April 1st. We cannot let the Democrats have any victories here. We've got to keep them discouraged and dejected. And just think, seriously, think if they get blown out in an election where they beat the Republican by 11 points just 2 years ago. This could be one of the most demoralizing things imaginable, right? It's very, very important. We got to make sure they stay demoralized. So make sure to get that vote out among all the Wisconsinites you know, and let's do this. Let's do this. This is going to be awesome. All right, Micah, you want to give us some instructions in our transition? A good transition, of course, to our own exclusive virtual platform where we can continue this conversation. You are muted, my friend.
We have our Monday night Q&A. Normally when I come on camera, the mic automatically turns on, but that's okay. We have our normal Monday night Q&A every Monday, and then we also have Friday Q&As in the morning that if you become a member and join us at fight.turleytalks.com/Monday-QA, you can become a member of our Courageous Patriots Club and get access to our 8 Q&As a month, 2 a week, and every Monday night we will answer as many questions as possible, just like we are about to do today as we transition over to a VIP live stream. And if you were thinking about giving a super chat to ask a question, that's great. But with super chats, YouTube does take a massive portion of super chats, and it is also very expensive for you to ask a question every time, or to pay like $5 every time you want to ask Dr. Steve a question. So instead, maybe pay like $10 a month to us, and that all goes directly to Dr. Steve and to this channel and to all of the productions that we're putting together. And believe me, there is a lot of content coming and exclusive content that we have if you become a member of the Courageous Patriots Club. You can even meet Dr. Steve at in-person events throughout the year, book launches, all this stuff. We just had our Golden Age Summit the other month. So much content. But for tonight, if you would like to ask as many questions as you like, just scan that QR code or click the link below if you're on YouTube or Rumble. And we would love to have you as we transition over to our VIP live stream very shortly. I do want to show some of those questions that we have from our faithful, courageous patriots. We have a question from MK. He asks, I would love to see Trump run as Vance's vice president and then assume the presidency in 2028 per Steve Bannon, so that the all-important 2030 census would represent the migration of MAGA voters from blue states to red states. You called it, Doc. 2030, just like the author from England said it would happen. Please comment.
Very, very good question. Yeah, absolutely. So that was, I believe that was Eric Kaufman at the University of London. He's actually a Canadian expat who lives out there, whose demographic study of the religious trends in the country, where when all is said and done, secular liberals have stopped having kids and conservative religionists have had are having more kids than ever, especially when you take into account the thank God the falling infant mortality rate. So so he predicted that by 2030 we would start to see the culture war shift dramatically to the right, precisely because, just bottom line, demographics is destiny. There's more of us than them, and especially after this massive deportation program, there's not going to be a lot of them left afterwards. So yes, 2030 is going to be incredible. I think I read an article that Trump, the way the reapportionment of the electoral votes is going, Trump could lose, like, I forget what it was, like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, all three of the blue wall states, and still win the electoral college, because so much of the electoral college numbers are being made up, are increasing in Texas and Florida and Idaho, in Utah, in Arizona. And Arizona's going really, really red of late. I think Republicans are getting close to a 10-point registration advantage. I don't know how even in their Senate races Democrats could be able to win with that kind of. I mean, it's just numbers game. So yeah, it's now what you're bringing up there with Trump is one of the options. It's the easiest option. He could run as the vice president on a Vance ticket and then take over. And then basically take over. Vance can give cede power. I don't know if he would do that. I mean, we'd have to, I don't know how Vance could run again after that. But it's a theory. It could get challenged in court, right, like everything else. But regardless, I think JD Vance is going, he's far and away ahead. He's got Trump level numbers of support for the GOP nod in 2028. I mean, we're talking 40-50% support, in a crowded field. He's going to win this hands down. And because of his ties to the blue wall states, being from Appalachia, 80% of Pennsylvania is Appalachia. So the blue wall, and Pennsylvania is the new Ohio. Pennsylvania is going farther and farther red. We're even seeing it in Wisconsin. It's shifted 8 points to the right since 2023 in the judges election. So I don't even know if we need Trump, but of course I'd love to have him on the ticket. We'll have to see how that plays out. But I think JD has got this, and he's going to crush it, and he's going to take MAGA to a whole new level in 2028. I don't think the Democrats right now at least have a prayer.
I don't know. AOC and Bernie are looking pretty pretty formidable, Dr. Steve. I wouldn't hedge my bets.
All AstroTurf, my friend. All AstroTurf. We've got the cell phone data. I think 80% of their crowd are all bought and paid for. Their professional audience.
I remember being on Reddit a few years ago, I think 2019, and seeing the ticket we all want, and it was Bernie and AOC holding their hands. So time is a flat circle. We just we lost. We can't run Kamala Harris. It's so sad.
Oh gosh.
We've got another question, and this will be our last one before we transition over, from Carol. Good evening, Dr. Steve. On this fine spring day, I have really enjoyed watching Caroline Leavitt. I have been wondering since day one if you submitted your name for that seat that she's designated for the first question of every briefing. We'd love to see you in the White House. You have my vote. With love, your Grandma Groupie.
Oh, thanks, Grandma Groupie. I think we have. I think we were one of like 1,000 that applied. And I don't know if we've heard back or we were rejected. I'm not sure. But obviously, I'm not in the White House right now. But that would be really cool.
Yeah, we definitely have to send Dr. Steve. There couldn't be, we have someone representing. It's just Dr. Steve Turley just sitting in the chair. How great would that be? That'd be awesome. I would watch that press conference just over and over again to see you stand up and ask your question. That'd be awesome. All right. Well, without further ado, we're going to transition over to our VIP live stream. So I will put that QR code, and I know we had a bunch of new people just come in, and they're probably rewatching the replay of this live stream. But for all of you who are still here and are ready to transition over to our private Q&A, just scan that QR code or click the link below, and you will get access every week to Monday and Friday Q&As, and they'll go till 8:30. So we have so much time to answer, to do nothing but answer your questions. And we get through so many of them every night. It's great. We just buzz through them. Dr. Steve is on top of his game right now with answering those questions as thoroughly, but also as quickly as possible. So we would love to have you there. We have so many members just waiting to meet you. And we would love if you would let us know if you are new to the VIP live stream. Let us know if this is your first time, and then we will put your question at the front of the line and have Dr. Steve answer it as quickly as he can. So without further ado, we are going to transition over there in 30 seconds. We will see you all over there.
Gang. It'd be great to have you.